All right, let's see if we are live. Let's see. Let's go check X. All right, let's see. All right. Looks like the live is working on X. Let me go check the YouTube stream. Bow, chicka, bow, bow. All right. Looks like we're good. Sweet. This is the first live in the new setup, so I got a 49-inch monitor up there and then three 27s right here. So, but it looks like we're working and we're rolling. All right, let me get this live sent out in the Discord. Let people know we have started. Not going to stay on here too long, but I have not looked at charts all weekend. So, all right, we are live. Hope everybody had a great long weekend. Labor Day. So now we got a short week ahead. So before I jump into the charts, let's go look at the economic calendar for the week. See what we got going on. So obviously today being September 1st, start the week, market was closed. So starting tomorrow, 9:45, we have S&P final manufacturing PMI, and then at 10 a.m. tomorrow we have ISM manufacturing and construction spending. Tomorrow, Fed President Alberto and Neil speaks. Got job openings and factory orders at 10 a.m. Looks like Thursday is gonna be the big one. 8:15 pre-market, you have ADP employment. 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we have initial jobless claims coming out, and then at 9:45 S&P final U.S. services PMI, and then at 10 a.m. ISM services, and then New York Fed President John Williams speaks at noon. Friday, U.S. employment and unemployment reports, U.S. hourly wages, and hourly wages year over year on Friday. So that's about it. So nothing too crazy for data other than Thursday. Looks like Thursday we're gonna have a little bit of data there pre-market. So, oh, what's up? What's up, guys? Looking at the chat. What's up, S? Appreciate you. Dude, my office is a disaster. I have nothing set up other than the monitors and this entire freaking huge desk in front of me. I have cables all over the place. I got boxes and plastic all sitting right here. Um, you probably can't see it, but the light that's on that wall is the KC Trades freaking sign. I might be able to move it. Let's see. See if I don't mess this up. Let's see. It's over there on the wall with my record player. So, and then here's the monitors. So my office is still under a little bit of construction right now. So I have a little bit more work to do, hang some paintings that I have on the wall and do some decor, get a bookshelf and everything as well. So still a little bit of work to be done, but we have the main, setup right here in front of us. So it's absolutely incredible. So I don't have the best webcam. This was the one that I had connected to my MacBook over here. It is just a Logitech HD 1080p one, so nothing crazy. So I have to get a ring light put on the wall that's right behind here, and then get a decent camera as well for streaming. So got that to get done next. What's up, Liv, my YouTube manager? Can't wait for Casey to juggle multiple monitors. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. Appreciate you, Liv. I hope you did as well. Hope everybody had a great long weekend. All right, link is out in the Discord. So let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Again, I have not looked. I haven't looked at any charts, so it's gonna be interesting. let's see what we got. I am going to cover two things that I am currently looking at, some of these positions that I'm currently already in. So, but we're going to start with the same three as usual, right? Always the same three. It's going to be SPY, QQQ, and IWM. Those are always the main three, right? So looking over here on SPY. So, I mean, obviously, market is rocking and rolling, right? I mean, we are way above. I can actually delete a lot of those levels on this one. So we are still riding above all these EMAs. So weekly still look very, very strong, right? So daily right here, we are hitting the daily 9 right now. So daily 21 is right below. Big support is going to be around that 640 cycle level. So that is where I'm going to be watching the market for a big bounce, is right here near that 640. And then you can hit this trend line. That's right here as well. Right. So you have massive, massive support right here. Right. I'll put this right up here. Where is... we'll leave that alone for right now. So you have massive support right here around this 640. So previous all-time high that's up here. Obviously, daily chart doesn't show the after hours. The high right now up there is around the 650 cycle level. Looks like all-time high is going to be 649.78. So there you go. Very close enough to right there. So that spot here on, where's my boxes here? So big support here, right? Let me go to the daily again. Right, so this is the main thing that I'm watching. Get a screenshot of this real quick over here. Go to the 4-hour. Right, so that right there is kind of what I'm watching. Resistance above. I mean, you got some resistance that's like right here. Right here, right? So essentially, what you want to look at, looking at support, resistance, supply, demand kind of area, you're going to have your support on SPY. Whoopsies. Demand zone as it gets closer to right here. And then you're going to have your resistance, which is going to be your, oh, I did a comma, supply zone above, right up around here. So this is mainly what I'm going to be watching on SPY. So 640 down to 637 going to be your support demand zone, and then 647 up to 650 is going to be your supply zones. You have a $3 zone above you and a $3 zone below you. Those are the two main areas that I'm going to be watching here on SPY. This price action right here in the middle, I'm not interested in trading. SPY is like right inside this area right here. You can probably catch intraday scalps on a 5-minute time frame, but larger time frame moves, I would like to play these larger zones that are up here. Looking at SPY there on the 1-hour chart, nothing too crazy. I mean, if SPY does hold around the 643, comes back up and retest that 647, initially I'd be looking to go short and get puts for the rejection up there. So just obviously looking at previous price action right here, right? Previous price action up here, right? Look what happened both times when these areas were previously tested. Where the hell is... There. So area was tested, right? Price action comes down. area was tested, price action comes down. So if SPY goes back up to this area, previous price action, I'd like for it to come back down. So if SPY does hold, goes up here, I'm not going to be chasing long at the top of it. I do the exact opposite the first go around. Right? I'm not chasing longs when SPY breaks above the 647 to push higher. I'm going to be looking for actually sellers to step in and look for some resistance up here, and then risk to reward looks better for the shorts up there. If it starts to continue to break above and the trend is still strong, obviously then I'll be out of the trade for a loss, but risk to reward would absolutely look to be going short right here and then take it back down here. So the only way look to be going long is if SPY comes back down to hit this trend line in this zone right here. This is where I would be looking to take calls. Again, risk to reward looks better for the calls down here, and then take it back up to these highs. So overall, I'm going to see what the price action chart kind of sets up with intraday. But on the larger time frame, those are the $3 zones I'm going to be watching on SPY. So nothing too crazy on SPY. Let me get a screenshot of this as well. Go check the Discord. There we go. Ooh, Mastermind recordings. I gotta accept those. We are hosting the next Casey Trades Mastermind next Saturday. I'm super excited to teach this next one. All right, QQQ. Let's go over here on the daily. So QQQ is actually at the daily 21 right now. So one thing that I see here on, actually, let me add. Lux Algo Price Action Concepts, one of my absolute favorite indicator setups right here. So absolutely love it. Let me check the chat over here. Random Citizen, what's up? Let's fucking go is absolutely correct. What's up, buddy? So one thing that I do see here on QQQ, and maybe not the best thing that some people want to hear, but I would say I can articulate a head and shoulders right here. Is it the prettiest thing in the world? Absolutely not. But is it something that I am going to take into account? Yes, absolutely. So I see this potential head and shoulders right here on QQQ. So you got a little bit of resistance up there near that 575 area. So not saying I'm going to have a short, thesis going in, but this is kind of what I'm watching on QQQ. So if it starts to break this trend line in probably around here, let me pull this up right here. So if it starts to break that trend line and then a 566 area, I would absolutely love to play a downside right here to this previous week low, which is just under 560, which is around 550, 559. The only way I would look to go long on QQQ is if I see this hold, it gets a break above, it comes back down, and it's going to retest this previous month high, bounce here, see buyers step in, and then probably go to new all-time highs. And that I would buy that dip if I saw buyers step in right here on this retest. But if it starts to break underneath that 566 area, then I would be looking short to go right there on QQQ. So those are the main two setups here that I'm looking on SPY and QQQ. So that trend line that's on SPY on the daily, same thing here, but you have a potential head and shoulders already setting up on QQQ going into the week. So, but obviously if it holds, and it is a failed move by the bears to break down on this trend and its potential chart pattern here, there's a very bullish sign as well. So absolutely love me some IWM. Completely different outside of SPY QQQ. I mean, this thing has been an absolute freaking monster. So not near new all-time highs. All-time highs are back up around 245 from what, November of 2024. So not quite there yet, but Charted this a really, really, really long time ago. Was a giant monthly cup and handle that was on IWM setting up at that time. Now, the only thing that kind of went crazy was the little mini crash, that I'll call it a mini crash, that we had in April right here. But it was absolutely setting up a beautiful cup right here, and then started to consolidate, and come down a little bit here. But then obviously the little April crash went all the way down, 170 on IWM, but a really, really beautiful recovery right here. But you will see it is also, you know, look at these upper wicks right up here, all in this zone, right? So you can't deny that you have this resistance right up here on IWM. So, whoopsies. So you do have some resistance up here on the Rusty. Why do I keep losing where the hell the arrows are at? So I also spelled resistance wrong, but it's okay. So just going to be watching this right here on IWM. And I'm not saying I'm a freaking bear going into the market by drawing this freaking resistance zone up here on IWM, then the head and shoulders on QQQ, but it's just something to take, into account. That's just what I see overall. But if you look at this monthly candle, this is very, very strong here on IWM, right? Look at the weekly, absolutely incredible. But look at previous price action, when it's up here in this area, right? Previous price action shows, this, what tested here came back down to 162, tested here came down to 172. So we are now coming back up to this area once again. Just something to take into account. A little overextended here on the daily chart. RSI is currently sitting around 65. So not super overextended. You'll see those other two times it went over 70. Right back up here. This one just underneath 70. 69.4. So we're not quite there just yet, but every time the RSI gets above around 65 up to that 70 is when you start to see that pullback on IWM. So potentially could see a little bit of a pullback here. Thoughts on AMD and TTD? We will look at AMD most likely, but I'm going to cover two other names real quick. So that's SPY, Qs, and IWM. Just quick charting right here on the larger time frames for what I see on these names. So another name right here I absolutely love, right, is V. Whoopsies, that is not what I wanted to draw. I need a trend line. All right. So one thing that I really like here on V is you had this high up here, right? Big resistance right here. And then this big old nice green candle right there, right? This huge green candle right here to break through this trend line. And you'll see that it is now consolidating above the trend line. EMAs 9 and 21 on the daily cross to the upside, potential change in trend, and is now consolidating up here above those EMAs. Looks absolutely fantastic. So then you can hit this low right here. So now this is what I'm watching. So this is what I would love to see on V. You have a big gap to fill all the way up here. So you have a gap fill up here on V. You also have a little bit of resistance you'll see right across the center of this chart right there. I'm going to be around just underneath 360, right? So I'm absolutely loving this little, it had a rounded bottom. I mean, you can articulate a little cup and handle right here, which looks absolutely perfect. Love this. Love the consolidation that happened right here. Beautiful, right? And then again, that big green candle right there. to break out of this, break that trend line, and now we're consolidating above these EMAs. Absolutely love this chart. The weekly, it has also been sitting in a squeeze here for quite some time, since July. So the squeeze is moving to the downside. So this is the thing right here with it. So if you look at the MACD as well, the MACD has been bearish since June as well. While the MACD has been bearish and it's been sitting in the squeeze, it has not fired to the downside as price action is now moving to the upside. So in my opinion, these bars on the TTM squeeze, they're not going to flip red like they do over here on the left side and fire that squeeze downside. I think it's going to end up honestly going back to neutral. And when it goes back to neutral, this bearish MACD right here, it's actually going to start to go back to neutral, go flat, and then start to curl back to the upside if it starts to go up here and test that gap fill area. By the time it hits that gap fill area and these indicators right here start to go flat and neutral, if it's still holding that squeeze, it can now start to curl to the upside. The MACD can now move positive. The TTM squeeze will start to push back up to the upside, and we'll see if that squeeze then is still there and then fired to the upside to break above that 360 resistance and go for that gap fill. So it isn't a squeeze, and indicators are moving to the downside, but price action is moving to the upside. So little strange right here, just the divergences, but would love to see these indicators kind of just flatten out, go neutral, still hold this high compression squeeze, but then it play out still bullish on the chart, and then it fire that squeeze to the upside, and then all these indicators start to curl back up, go green, and it goes for the gap fill. So that is something that I am currently watching here on V. So another thing too is if it does pop up to this area right here, I would absolutely look for it to reject, right? That's going to be a target upside, but look at previous price action, right? Previous price action shows that that is resistance. If it does reject, right? If it rejects this spot and it comes back down, and again, I'm not trying to just keep on finding a bullish case on here, but it would create an inverse head and shoulders. If it came all the way back up here and it rejected the same spot that it did over here, it would create an inverse head and shoulders. And I would look to absolutely buy that dip. So that is potentially something that it could set up in the future. So I love that 359, 360 area for a target upside here above 353. Would absolutely expect it to reject that area, and if it does, would love to buy the dip back down near 350 psych area. See buyer step in, push back higher. If it doesn't reject right here and it just breaks above and does a nice break and base above here, then go for that full gap fill afterwards. I mean, that would be a best case scenario, right? Doesn't even reject. So happy the lives are recorded. I'm always having to step away for work. Yeah, absolutely. The live streams are always recorded, going to be saved onto the YouTube channel, and then going to be saved here onto X as well. What's the best tutorial to use the price action concept by Lux Algo? How do you use it? I'm not sure if they actually have a video on YouTube for Lux Algo about like price action concepts specifically, but so the thing with this indicator here on the screen, it is fully customizable. It's absolutely amazing. So I mean, again, I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but I mean, you can have it set to show you swing highs and swing lows. You can have it show order blocks, which is what I do. I have it show the last 5 order blocks. And then I have it automatically do trend lines and patterns. You can also do inverse fair value gaps if that's your jam. The premium discount zones, absolutely love that. The equilibrium zone, absolutely one of my favorite. Automatically marks the daily high and lows, Monday high and lows, weeklies and monthlies. You can have it auto draw fib levels for you as well. And you can create you can make this thing fully customizable to send you alerts when certain things are all lining up together. Like this indicator it's kind of like an all-in-one kind of thing. It's absolutely fantastic. Wall in the back, need your logo. I see that's the thing. I thought about putting it behind me. The issue with putting it behind me, one, it's bright as hell. Two, my face and everything would just cover it anyways. And it would be too high up on the wall because it would probably go right there on the wall, and you wouldn't be able to see it when I have my camera, angled down, sitting like right here at me at my desk. So you wouldn't even really see it if it was behind me. So I have it on that wall over there because my French doors to my office are on this side. So when you walk into my office, the first thing you see when you open up the doors is my neon Casey Trade sign directly across from you on that wall, illuminating and lighting up the room. So it kind of just made more sense for me to throw it over there for the time being. So this is what I'm watching right here on V. After that, everyone loves this. I mean, hopefully I love it. Is Tesla. I mean, she can be freaking annoying, right? Tesla can be absolutely annoying. But let's look at a few things here on Tesla. So for one, the weekly, I mean, ugly red shooting star candle. But 2 weeks ago did the same thing. And they bought that dip. Red shooting star right here, retested EMAs, they bought that thing straight back up, right? Let me click that. They bought it straight back up. So it's still holding these daily EMAs. This thing is in a weekly squeeze now. So you have MACD positive, RSI is right above 50. The histogram right now is starting to move to the downside, just because of this, current candle that's honestly looking weak right here on Tesla, right? Daily, not looking too hot, but the main thing to watch on Tesla, right? I think that what most people are watching is this right here. So when I went long Tesla here because this was a break of structure right here. And then that arrow right there is the retest of the trend line. It's absolutely, it's gorgeous. Now, the thing for Tesla is right here. So this is what Tesla is currently in. And you will see the resistance over here to the left side on Tesla. The high that it just rejected it's everyone should have had this on their charts. I mean, it was literally almost to the freaking T, the high from June. I mean, it's no surprise that Tesla rejected right there. This is your resistance. This is going to be your supply zone right here on Tesla. So I am looking for buyers to step back in on a dip on here, Tesla, back down, I would say, to 325. So if Tesla pulls back down to 325 right here, I'm absolutely looking at calls. Gonna absolutely be looking to buy this dip right here on Tesla around 325. Tesla starts to break underneath 325, 320 area. Probably going to end up coming down to 315. I think if Tesla loses 315, it's not going to look too good. You're probably going to see 300 and potentially, sub 300, just slightly down here, maybe to the mid 290s. I don't want to see that happen. Would really love to see buyers step in around this 325 area here on Tesla. So it's kind of what I'm looking for on Tessie. I mean, I own Tessie shares. I think my average on Tesla shares is 254 after averaging up on some of these positions. So, I mean, best case scenario, I buy down here on these calls, get the move back up, but get a break in base right here, and then push up higher, closer to 400 later on. I mean, that would be best case scenario. So, looking to buy this dip here on Tessie. Someone said AMD. Look at AMD. AMD looks like shit. I was on live stream the other week. I said I think AMD looks like a freaking short, and I think it's absolutely still looking like a short. It's hitting right back at this area of support, but I mean, I don't think it looks too great at all. I think that weekly, it's no, again, this is another one that I charted. It is no freaking, if you go back on my timeline on X, you're gonna see this AMD chart way ahead of freaking time, right? I had this drawn way back when. So this is my thesis on AMD, and I would love to see it happen because I do not own AMD equity. I own Nvidia. I bought shares on Nvidia down at 90 bucks, and now I averaged up on that one as well. My average on Nvidia is I think it's $98 and some change. So I am up significantly right now on Nvidia shares, but I do not own AMD. I missed that one on the dip. So what I'm looking for AMD was to reject this zone up here at 185, come back down to 160. I would love to see it lose 160 and come all the way down here to like, I don't freaking know, like 130, maybe. I would love to see a giant inverse head and shoulders on AMD. I would love to see it come down to right here. If AMD comes down to about this zone, like right there, absolutely would. I'm absolutely gonna buy this shit out of some AMD right here. So what is that? 132 to 122. I mean, just give or take this zone right here. I would love to see that dip on AMD and start an equity position. So again, not surprised of the resistance up there. So we'll love to honestly see it come down here and then bounce and make a beautiful inverse head and shoulders and then start to play to the upside. I'm gonna get a screenshot of this as well. Again, you can go back on my timeline, type in the money sign AMD. You're gonna see this chart from weeks and weeks ago when I first started looking at AMD for the rejection up here to play to the downside. So it's currently still what I'm watching. Not whale. What's up, not whale? What's up, Josh? He said that's a lot of cables to manage. I know, dude, my desk looks ridiculous. He said looks sexy. Have you experienced the annoying Apple flaw with the monitors where you have to keep rearranging them because technically it doesn't have numbered display ports, so it just depends on which monitors turn on first? Yes. Holy shit. Yes, I hate it. It I gotta find a way around that, dude. Like, there has to be a way when you arrange the display on Mac to like lock that shit in to when you reboot your system or start it up again, like it has to have a way to save your display on how you arranged it because like he said, whichever ones turn on first, like that's the one like it goes to, and then you have to go to your settings again, mess with the freaking displays, move it around which one you want to be your main and then the other ones, like every single freaking time. I noticed that today. I noticed that right before the freaking stream. It was the second time that it happened. Someone said, damn, just about to run out for dinner. Do you record this? Yes. Yes, it is. It is recorded. So, SPY, QQQ, IWM, Visa, and Tesla, and AMD. Those are some of the main six on the larger time frame that I'm looking at. There's a bunch of other names that I'm going to be watching on the a little bit smaller time frames, going down closer to the 4 hour, 1 and 4 hour chart, just on how previous Friday session closed, but also looking at how the previous week closed as well, and the month as well, because we ended August and starting in September. So a few names on the monthly chart that I'm watching as well, just on individual names outside of, the big tech. I've been trading a little bit of Tesla, um, Apple, Amazon here and there. But honestly, I've been having really good success with the individual names. Um, I'm long Apple for fun. I don't know about you guys. I'm long Apple for fun. They have their event coming up. I think it is September 7th, if I'm not mistaken. So again, like I said, I'm long Apple for funsies. Just in a call swing, would love to see him. Honestly, would love to see him move on Apple back to 240. Just gonna if if Apple's gonna do anything, I think it could get a nice run up into the event that they have, and then it's gonna freaking sell it off. If anything, I could 100% be wrong, but that's my plan. Play the run up and then sell that shit. Google, on the other hand, absolutely beautiful, new all-time highs. Would love to see a pullback on Google back down to 190 if it does break below sub 200 again. Um, Buy that dip right here. But I mean, that chart looks absolutely amazing. Meta, on the other hand, not looking too hot on the weekly. It is back testing an area of support, just the previous highs from February right here. So if it starts to break underneath that, would love to see a move down to here. So if it starts to break underneath around 7, honestly, kind of where it's at, 738, get a move closer down to that 700 psych level area. And then I mentioned it, just I'll pull it up here, is NVIDIA. NVIDIA has something called the oh shit. If you ever talk to Nods, it has something called a oh shit setup. So when you have either like a hanging man and shooting star kind of back to back. So you kind of have that right here at the top of NVIDIA. So honestly, wouldn't mind seeing a pullback to NVIDIA back down to like 155, 154. So potential $20 drop. I mean, I would absolutely love to see that pullback and then buy that dip right there. It is in a squeeze on the daily. Daily looks kind of like shit right now. And it is in a daily squeeze right now that actually just flipped negative. That's actually something to take note right here. Right there. So on the histogram, that's the TTM squeeze right there, and it is still in the high compression squeeze. You'll see the little red dots right there, and you got the red bar that actually flipped to the downside. MACD has been bearish for quite some time, and you also have bearish divergence here on the RSI. That's 3 for 3 in my book. So it's there's no gaps to be filled on the daily. You got this area here. One broke trend line, yeah, and it's got that flat top right there as well, just where all that resistance is at. Yeah, I would love to see that move down right there. I think that would be absolutely gorgeous. So it auto drew this trend line here, and then all those upper wicks that are right up here on the video and now coming down. So I mean, not saying the video is going to fall 20 bucks, but if it did, I mean, I wouldn't mind it for some poots. So you do have a potential, whoopsies, short setup here on NVIDIA. Squeeze to the downside again. MACD is already a little red right here, and then the RSI. I'm actually going to catch a screenshot of that. So just something else to keep on watch. Last but not least, let me check Nike out real quick. Haven't checked this one out in a minute. A lot of shooting stars on the higher time frames. A lot of shooting stars on the higher time frames. So you have that trend line right here. You have this one right here that looks you have big support on Nike. So it would be interesting. And look, big resistance here. So wouldn't be surprised to see Nike pull back down to $72 and then potentially look for calls down here on Nike, $72, push back here to the upside. Um, again, left shoulder, big dip down here. If it pops back up to that same area here, pulls back down, create the right shoulder, get the move to the upside, right? So you have a potential short play right here on Nike to pull back down $72, lines up right near the daily 21, or sorry, the weekly 21 EMA. And then potentially buyer step in and get a push back up $10 back up to 81.82. Starts to break above that and get the breakout and push up to the trend line, which is probably going to end up lining up where this resistance is going to be at perfectly over here on the left side of the screen. Always zoom out, look left, right? This is a key spot. Big bounce, huge red candle, retest, big rejection comes lower, right? And significant level. That would be target upside above 82. It's going to be around $89 to about $90 cycle level. So potential short play and then long play on Nike. Again, just something else on a larger time frame that I'm watching. So that's it for me, guys. Went a little bit longer than anticipated, but that's because I haven't done any homework yet. This is the first time I'm starting to look at some of these charts here. So if you are on the live stream here on X, if you could like and repost the stream, would greatly appreciate it because it is recorded. So the more people that repost it, they can find this later on. I had two more people ask and send me a message if it's recorded. That way they can find it. That way they can watch it later on. So the more people that like and repost this, easier for it is to find later on. So it is free and takes 2 seconds to do. So appreciate you guys. So that is it for me on the live stream tonight on the new setup here. So excited to get to work tomorrow morning. Again, we got a short week ahead. Absolutely appreciate you guys. What's up? What's up, Rodriguez? So I got a short week ahead, obviously, because today's Monday and market is closed. And then just got the main data that's coming out Thursday morning pre-market. So other than that, let's have a great week of trading. Brando, you're the fucking man. I love you, dude. I hope you're doing amazing. Brando is one of the OGs of the Casey Trades community. This dude has been on an incredible trading journey. Absolutely love that dude. Appreciate you, man, for hanging out and tuning into the live stream. So, all right, I'm going to be live in the Discord all this week, live streaming and live trading like I do every single week. So, if you want to come hang out with myself and a bunch of other amazing trading analysts, options and futures, day trade, swing trade, we do just about everything over there. And our amazing premium Discord community with the members in there. Freaking come hang out. Click the link on the profile on X. It'll take you straight there. And if you haven't joined before, you can get a free trial. So you can come hang out, make some money, and watch me live trade and watch everything we do in the trading community. We have fun. We sing songs. We tell jokes while we live trade and make money. It's the best fucking job in the world. So get yourself a free trial. Come hang out. See what the community is all about. And if you love it, we would love to freaking have you guys in there. But I say it all the time. If you're not in a trading community, I highly encourage you to get into one, whether it's mine or somebody else's. It doesn't matter. Just find a community that works for you. It's really going to help you grow as a trader, being around a bunch of other traders that you can trade along with and also learn from while you adapt and trade the market. So don't do it by yourself. Find a freaking community. I promise you it's going to be a huge game changer. So. All right, premium Discord team. I'll see you guys here at the live stream in the morning. Everyone else, have a great night, and I will catch you guys later.